Well, hello. Welcome to the Curt and Jen podcast.
Hello. Yes, it is Thursday. Thank you for being here and joining us as always. Like, follow, subscribe, whatever you feel capable of doing. We would love that, and it would help us immensely, immensely.
It's super easy. You just have to push buttons.
Anybody can push buttons. Today on the show, work meeting hangovers. I didn't know that was a thing, but I'm happy to hear about it.
Some things that might actually be useful to have in your junk drawer.
I have some of those in there myself. Public bathrooms and how people wish they were different. Wow.
We've also got a travel strategy that's actually pretty brilliant that a guy put on X, formerly
Okay.
Twitter.
Walmart's chicken nuggets are lacking a main ingredient, we found out. And also, weird things you collect will be mentioned too. Weird things you collect. That's our question of the day question, right?
Yeah. I'm waiting for music, Curt.
Oh, no, music. Okay.
I just wanted to mention that if you don't have anything going on tonight, come and see me. I'm emceeing an event called Pouring on Purpose at Callan Cellars in Woodinville. It starts at 5:30. There's going to be wine tasting and some food, a chance to mix and mingle and network with other women. Plus, you're going to learn a few things from some female entrepreneurs about business and wine and these women that own their own wineries and run them. You can get tickets at bellandbottle.com. BELLE. That kind of bell, like as in a beautiful bell.
.com. How was that again?
Beautiful bell.
Beautiful bell. That's going to be fun. Hope people will go out and see Jen tonight for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Curt.
Well, our national days today, there's a couple of them. It's National Dentist Day and also National Frozen Food Day, which both lead to the fact that neither of those days, well, or maybe both, tie in with the fact that there's a new Peeps flavored icy coming up to convenience stores.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. So the Icy Company and Peeps announced yesterday that they announced that they're coming together for the ultimate spring treat, a Peeps flavored icy. This according to Kimra Hinger, Vice President of Marketing at Icy. She says Icy and Peeps are both nostalgic brands that bring joy to fans of all ages, making this collaboration a perfect match. Whether you're celebrating the season or simply craving something new, this limited edition flavor is a must try. So the Vice President of Marketing at Icy is saying that this new flavor of Icy is a must try.
I'm going to try it. Are you going to try it?
I can't remember the last time I had an Icy, but if I go to someplace and they have an Icy machine and they have the Peeps flavored, I may give it a shot.
I actually was just going to ask you that. Where do you find an Icy? I think they serve Icy brand, that brand, because it's not a Slurpee. Slurpees are exclusive to 7-Eleven, but Icy is the same concept. I think you can get Icies in movie theaters, but I don't know where else.
They have down the street at the Amazon Go store. They have a machine, and like you said, it may be a frozen Coke machine. I don't know if it's an Icy or not.
Curt.
Yeah.
If you see Peep flavored Icies at Amazon Go store, you better call me, please.
Am I supposed to get you one, or are you gonna go get it yourself?
No, I'll go get it myself, because if you give me one, it's just gonna melt by the time I get it.
Exactly. That's science right there. Okay. Peeps flavored Icies. You look very excited about that one.
I kind of am excited to try it.
Well, I need a different music here. I'm going to just stop that because I don't like it. It doesn't go with this story.
I am so sad about this. Can I just say that?
Yes. 10-season legend, I'm going to say, wide receiver for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett, was released yesterday. And it's all about salary caps and that kind of stuff. All right. So here's the deal. So, and people have been bracing for this after his last game last season. He kind of hinted, I think that he had 1 year left in his contract. So here's what Tyler said yesterday in social media. I really enjoyed being in Seattle. I met so many great people and captured so many great memories. The 12s really make this place meaningful. Although my time on the Seahawks may have run its course, I'm thankful for everything. God gets all the glory forever. That's what he said. The move was not a surprise, and I guess that they're going to free up, I don't know, a whole bunch of millions of dollars on their cap so they can bring in other people.
Wasn't he pretty good, though? Like, he is a good player, right?
He's a great player.
I don't understand, Curt, because
I know, so I'm going to go ahead and play this.
Expensive.
You're going to play this one here as well real quick. In more trade news, the Seattle Kraken have released forwards Oliver Bjorkstrand and Yanni Gord.
Those are big players too, aren't they?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Well,
Mega.
it's so they're gonna so Yanni came we got Yanni from the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's going back to the Lightning along with Oliver Bjorkstrand, the one they call the Maestro. In exchange, it's a bunch of, Seattle gets first round picks in 26 and 27, and they also get a forward from Tampa Bay by the name of Michael Asamont. So
You know that person?
I know the name, yeah. So, but the deal is, it's like people are like, well, why do they always trade the best players? It's like, well,
Yeah.
other teams want the best players. Other teams are not interested in your underperforming players. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna get rid of so and so because he's no good. Like, well, nobody wants so and so. And a lot of it has to do with how much time they have left in their contract, how much money they're making, how they've been performing this year.
How do you like
Yanni
this news? I mean, you're a Kraken fanatic.
Yanni was good for the locker room. He was a very good leader for the team, I think, and he's just fun to watch play. So I'm not so upset about that because he's going back to where he came from at in Tampa. I mean, at Tampa Bay. I mean, I saw
Ugh.
the article from the Tampa Bay newspaper, and they're thrilled. Yanni's coming home. So
This is funny to
anyway,
me, Curt, that we have three. It's like we're a sports station right now because we have another sports story.
oh, that's true. Would you like music for your sports story? Of
Yeah.
course. Okay.
Okay, for the first time ever, the World Cup is getting a halftime show.
I didn't know they didn't have a halftime show.
Yesterday, it's called FIFA, right? That's how
FIFA,
you
FIFA
FIFA.
World Cup, yeah.
This is why we're not a sports station, by the way, our sports podcast.
FIFA says.
They announced that the final match of the 2026 tournament that's going to be held at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey will feature a Super Bowl style halftime show and Coldplay. I don't really understand what this means. Does this mean that Coldplay is going to help decide? It says Coldplay will help curate the list of artists.
That says to me that they're going to pick the list of artists. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't indicate that Coldplay is playing.
No.
Hmm.
Well, there you go. I think that's kind of exciting.
Soccer fans are loving it. I'm sorry, football fans are loving it. Football in any other country in the world.
So moving from sports to food, Curt.
Well, that's easy.
I want to know if you have ever heard of or tried butter cake.
I have both heard of and tried butter cake. I had it last time I had it was at Joey, I think, in Bellevue.
Was it life-changing?
It was not life-changing. It was delicious.
Okay, so I had it in the style of a cookie at Crumble Cookie.
Okay.
But it was just called like a butter cake cookie. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. And I tried it and I'm like, whoa, this is a party in my mouth for
That's
sure.
right.
So, and I didn't know that butter cake was actually a thing. I just thought it was this fun little name that Crumble Cookie had come up with. Well,
Yeah.
my roommate Jackie had it when she was on some trip and's like, I'm coming home and making this because it was so freaking delicious. So she made it and I tried it. Oh my God.
You know what? I should give it what it deserves as far as, it was not life-changing, but it was unbelievable. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, in the world of desserts, yes, please, and thank you all day, every day. I mean, I can't all day, every day because it'll make me bigger than I already am, but still.
Stop.
If you've never had butter cake, I highly, highly, highly recommend.
Endorsed by Jen Pirak. Butter
Yeah.
cake. It's
Yeah, it
what's
was
for
good.
dinner.
Real good. Served warm, melts in your mouth.
So while we're on the food,
Yeah.
this is, I guess, a surprise.
You don't think it's a surprise? I mean, come on, if you're going to sell chicken nuggets, it should have the main ingredient included in it, which would
Well,
be chicken.
people joke about cheap food everywhere not being necessarily what you think it might be. And what we're talking about here is the frozen chicken nuggets from Walmart. That is trending because this is what somebody in Jacksonville posted this. There is no chicken, but just breading in the Walmart's Great Value brand chicken nuggets.
There was actually a video, Kurt Cruz,
Hmm.
of them cutting open this like a mega amount of chicken nuggets and nothing was in them. Like empty, it was empty.
So this was just a mistake, I guess. This is not how it's always been. Clearly, people would have said something a long time ago. So this was just a batch that people purchased that were,
A
no
bad
chicken,
batch.
just. Is that correct? That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
they're speculating that there must have been a bad batch or something because someone else shared something similar in a video back in at the end of January, and Walmart released a statement this week saying they're working closely with their supplier to resolve the issue of not having chicken in the chicken nuggets.
When I first read the headline, I thought, okay, there's something else in there instead of chicken, which I'm thankful that that was not it. But so this batch, if you happen to have a batch sitting around of great value chicken nuggets from Walmart, you may want to check them. I would think that once you lifted the bag and realized how light it was.
I can't speak on it. All I know is that it's a little ridiculous and kind of funny.
Okay, and you learned something new today here, I guess.
Yeah. There's something else new I just learned.
Please.
So I saw this guy on X, Twitter. I don't know why they don't just call it Twitter, for crying out loud, because X sounds ridiculous. So there's this guy that shared this travel strategy. So when he visits a new city, he does what he calls the Lululemon strategy.
Hmm.
He gets on his computer or phone and he searches for the nearest Lululemon. Now, it cannot be a Lululemon store that is in a mall. It is the storefront, like kind of like standalone Lululemon stores. He says, because here's why. That means it's a high-end neighborhood because Lululemon doesn't just build Lululemons any old place.
True.
So he's like, if you find a Lululemon standalone store, you know that the neighborhood's going to be high end. It's going to be a great vibe. They're going to have great bars. They're going to have great restaurants. They're going to have a bakery dedicated to the locals, and it's probably going to be a good walkability city.
Which is also, I think he said he searches for storefront Lululemon locations, like you said. But he has a backup. A plan B is if there's not any Lululemons, his backup is Whole Foods. So
Yeah.
there's a Whole Foods around. He says that also you're going to have, the great bars, great neighborhoods, great restaurants and stuff like that.
He said it gives you a great lay of the land. And you know what? That's pretty brilliant. I'm going to try it actually.
It's probably accurate too.
Yes.
Where do I go to hang out? I'm here in Chicago. Where do I go to hang out? It's like, where's there a Lululemon? We'll find a place.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you read this story, Curt, about this super glue in the belly button?
Yes, I did, and put this under not stupid criminals, just dumb humans headlines. How's that?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I think that this was on Reddit, and I had to put it in there because of its ridiculousness. So there's this family. They're at imagine being at a family barbecue. They're having way too much to drink, and someone passes out. Well, rule number one when you're drinking and having a great time is you don't pass out because bad stuff can happen to you, right?
Yeah, but typically the bad stuff would be, they put marker on your face like I'm a dork, and they draw like eyebrows and a mustache or whatever, something goofy like that. This went beyond that because they had the brother-in-law of this group that was, drinking too much.
Yeah.
So he fell asleep in the hammock, and his brother-in-law decided, I'm gonna, what we're gonna do? This will be what a gag. We're gonna fill up this guy. He's passed out. Gonna fill up his belly button with super glue.
Bad things. He had
Yeah.
to go to he had to go to the emergency room, right? And he ended up with a bill of over $2,000. So then so here's what I'm not following. So it's the brother-in-law who's going through the divorce, is between jobs, and he's the one with the belly button issue.
Well, the brother-in-laws are brother-in-laws to each other. So
Okay.
the brother-in-law that did the super glue refused to pay the medical bill of like you said, $2,200. So the other brother-in-law took him to court in small claims court, and he won, but he still has not received his money from the other brother-in-law.
It's hard to follow, but it's kind of funny. And don't put super glue into body parts.
Yeah, that's what I would start with. Who doesn't know that? It's so difficult to get off you, even just like you get a little on your finger when I'm going to put super glue in his navel.
Here's why I bring it up, because maybe he's going to be on Judge Judy, and you'll already have known and been familiar with the case now because of Curt and Jen's podcast.
That's true. I was looking to see. I thought for sure this had happened in Florida, but it doesn't say where it's happened. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Stay away from super glue and belly button.
Oh, I wanted to bring up my parenting challenge right now, Curt.
Okay, please. What's your parenting challenge
I
for
think
Jen? I'm dying to hear this.
one of the hardest parts about parenting is watching your kids go through difficult times and disappointment. I mean, it's part of life, right? And it's part of, you got to let them do that. But I want to fix it because I'm a fix it kind of person. I want everyone to be happy and,
Sure.
But Macy tried out for the softball team at school and she did not make the team.
Ah, shoot.
I know. And it really sucks. And there's some friend stuff that she's going through. So it's just like a really hard time. And she doesn't want to talk about it, which, I want to talk about it because I want to make sure that we're being free with like expressing ourselves and
Sure.
sharing good things as well as bad things and working through it together. But I actually had to look up an article on disappointment, right? Like kids that are disappointed and how parents should handle it, because I do want to fix it and you can't, right? You got to let
Right.
them just move through the disappointment and be there to support them and let them know you love them no matter what, and all the things, and hopefully eventually talk about it, because you got to talk about it. And
Right.
how I can support her in whatever her decision is to try harder and put in the reps and try again next year or whatever. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
it's just hard on my heart because she's just in that dark place right now where she just wants to be in her room and not talk to anybody and sleep and just kind of that. I mean, I get it because I've been there.
Sure.
Anyway,
Well, you're
that's what
being
I'm
a good
going
mom. I
through.
know it's difficult too. I mean, even with well, I mean, Jane and I don't have any kids, but even with I mean, I'm not, I guess I am kind of comparing, but even with the dogs, it's hard to see your dog, you're like, oh, you poor little thing. It's like, well, you got to let them go through life and have these experiences and learn from them.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make it any easier. So you're still being a great mom, Jen.
Well, I mean, I'm trying. I'm being an annoying mom because I went into and just sat in her bed with her and she's like, "Mom, get out of my room. This is my private place." Like,
Like,
well,
I'm not leaving.
I'm spending some time with you right now because I love you.
Did you ask her how much she pays in rent for her private space? I know you can't do that.
No,
I
I
know.
did not, Curt.
Okay, those of us who have full-time jobs, so that would not include Jen and myself, right now, we're between gigs. We keep saying that, right? This is a story about work meeting hangovers, which I had not ever heard the phrase, but it makes sense. If you have a meeting today, maybe some of these little tips, helpful tips, will help you not have the work meeting hangover. Which real quick, it says that's a term used to describe the negative effects of a pointless meeting or one that's not run very well.
And they say 9 out of 10 people experience meeting hangovers. Like, that's mega.
Yeah. Wow,
Okay.
you're
Are
right.
you going to
Okay.
tell us? Are you telling us some of the things? Tell us some of the things.
Well, this is and this is so 90%, like you said, 9 out of 10 workers say it happens to them at least occasionally. A full one-third of meetings cause negative effects on employees. Here are the top things that can cause a meeting hangover, work meeting hangover. Too much time talking about stuff that's irrelevant. Yes. A
Amen.
lack of clear agenda or clear objectives. Certainly. Poor time management, which I'll address in just a second here. Also, in that list of 5 things that can cause these meeting hangovers, no actionable outcomes, like you talked but didn't accomplish very much, and also unequal participation. So just a few people talked, but they talked a lot, I guess is a problem.
I mean, Curt, we sat in a lot of meetings when we were
Hmm.
at the radio station, and I would say that there was a definitely meeting hangover, don't you think? I mean, those things happen all the freaking time. I
Yes.
hated it. I'm like, have an agenda, stick to it, be efficient, move through it, have an action item list at the end of the meeting so everybody is clear on what needs to happen, have deadlines, go on, move along
Done.
with your day.
Everybody has one of these people, and this is a former coworker. Do you know who I'm going to talk about? You don't yet, do you?
No.
At the end of, before the meetings are done, you sat there for, already been in this meeting for an hour of what was supposed to be a half-hour meeting, and they say, does anybody else have anything that they want to add?
Oh.
And does everybody have? And this guy is a really good dude. Everybody loves Paul, right?
Oh, I knew
Um,
I was going to ask if his initials were PT.
yes, but at the end of every meeting, it'd be like, so we're all fatigued. The pizza is now cold, and the meeting's about to end. And anybody have any questions? Yeah, I had a few things. Like, oh my God. Is
Okay.
there one of that at every office? Is there one of those, you
Yes,
think?
there's always one. There is always one.
With the
So
best intentions.
how do people prevent this? There's ways to prevent it. Do you want to talk about that, Curt?
Ways to prevent the
Meeting hangovers. Bosses can prevent meeting hangovers by listening more and helping
yeah.
the conversation along, making every minute count, ending on time, having smaller meetings with fewer people. And the top ways to recover from a work meeting include taking a short break when it ends, going for a walk, just a quick little walk, and talking things
Hmm.
out with a coworker.
There you go.
The last
I
one
thought you
can
were
be a
saying
little risky. Be careful when you talk about it with another coworker because you don't want things getting back.
it can get back. Exactly. I thought you were saying, how do you avoid having somebody ask a question at the very end when you're all ready to go? And I don't have an answer for that.
Well, the boss doesn't ask, does anyone have any other questions? They end the meeting.
That's what I would say. That was what I would
Yeah.
suggest for that one. Well, so this is day 2 of Lent. Started yesterday.
Yeah.
And just a quick little note here, if you're giving up red meat for Lent, a very common thing, there is a ranking of the best fried fish sandwiches at various fast food establishments.
Tell me all of them.
Well, I'm going to tell you the ones that are around here. Some of the ones that were on this list. I mean, we don't have White Castles around here. Believe it or not, the White Castle chicken sandwich made. So, according to this, if you're looking to substitute fish for red meat for Lent, Wendy's crispy panko fish sandwich is number 9 on this list of best fried fish sandwiches. McDonald's has the filet of fish, came in at number 7. Burger King's Big Fish came in at number 5. Arby's has a King's Hawaiian Fish Deluxe. That
Ooh.
sounds good. I know the King's Hawaiian got you, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's number 4 on the list. And the top, according to them, the ranking, the number 1 ranked best fried fish sandwich is also from Burger King. They have something called the Fiery Big Fish. And that is what they're saying is the best fried fish sandwich based on, I have no idea what. It didn't say what the.
If you're participating in Lent, I think Fridays you need like the only kind of meat you can eat is fish.
Right.
Right? Is that right?
It depends on how, yeah, I think it depends on how much I do know some people say, you know what I'm giving up for Lent? I'm giving up swearing. It's like, that doesn't seem like,
I could never do that. I'd
or
fail.
or you know what? I'm going to give up something, like I'm giving up broccoli. It's like, well, that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it because I'm not giving up anything.
The Burger King's fiery fish sandwich. I bet it's spicy. Otherwise, I would try it. I don't love spicy.
Well, you're also saving yourself up for that Peeps flavored icy. I know.
That's
So
right.
that's the next thing you're going to try. That's delicious.
I wanted to go through this little list because I thought it was a good one. Some actually useful things that you'll be glad to have in your junk drawer. So follow along with me and you can make a little mental checklist to see if you have these things in your junk drawer.
I think I might have all of these, just so you know, but go ahead.
Oh, okay, Curt, way to go. Okay, reliable and rechargeable batteries. I mean,
There
you're
you
always
go.
needing rechargeable batteries, right? AA and AAA are the kinds that you should have in there because those are the things that run out, those are the kinds of batteries where things are running out of them and you need more of them.
Right. And I actually have both AA and AAA batteries in there and rechargeable ones as well. So far I'm good.
Okay, multi-bit screwdrivers for quick fixes.
Got it.
Because you might have some in the toolbox in the garage, but you need one in your junk drawer to make it handy.
Right. And the ones with multi-bits, you just have one screwdriver. You could say, oh, it's a Phillips, it's a flathead, blah, blah, blah. So that's a good one. Got that as well. As well as this next thing, they say your junk drawer should have a trusty tape measure.
I bet you don't have this next one.
Well, I
I
want to
do
go after
have a tape measure, by the way. I have
but
that
no,
one.
you don't.
What?
You do not. I'm going to say this because the last time we needed a tape measure and you said, here, it was one you got for free at
IKEA.
And it was like 3 feet long, maybe.
It was still a tape measure.
Yes, but we were not measuring something longer than 3 feet. So you're like, okay, there's 3 feet. Put a mark.
Okay, moving on.
That doesn't count as a tape measure, Jen.
I have a real one. I have a real one in my junk drawer right now. The next one is a powerful headlamp. Do you have one of those?
I have a battery. I mean, I have a flashlight in there, but not an actual headlamp. No.
I want to get one of those. Pat has a real cool one, and I want one for myself.
Okay. Well, he's your boyfriend. Just steal his.
Pens that actually work.
Okay.
If you don't
Yes.
have them and they're dried up, throw them away and just go buy some new ones. A
Flameless lighter.
a flameless lighter. I don't have a flameless lighter.
That's a tough one. I actually do. I don't know how they work exactly. Negative and positive. It makes a little, bzzz, and you can light things with it. But, I do have we have the long hand, like you used to light a barbecue, the long handled,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about,
yeah,
but I have the one with the flame.
right. Those are, yeah. I didn't know about the flameless.
Yeah.
Huh.
Sharp scissors, of
Hmm.
course.
Yeah, got that. Handy utility knife.
Well, I was going to mention with the sharp scissors, it's ones for the, like, also keep them separate from the kitchen shears. Like, there's the
Yes.
ones that you cut paper with and stuff, and then there's ones you use for food.
I learned about that after I married my wife. I was using the food scissors for the wrong thing, and she's like, "No,
Right.
no."
No, do not. Okay, you said a handy utility knife.
Yep,
Okay,
like
what
an
else?
X-Acto knife. And finally, it says bug battling gear.
That's like a fly swatter. Yeah.
Well, are they saying, yeah, okay. I thought that they were talking about like the spray. We have is it in here? We have the electric zapper
Okay,
paddle. Have
well
you
that
seen
would work
those?
too. Yeah, I've seen it.
Those are a little bit, I mean, Dana gets some sort of sick pleasure out of it, especially if
Zap
you
it.
smash the fly against the wall and you can see it sizzling and smoking.
Yep.
You love it.
All right,
Cruel.
moving on.
Oh, okay. If you're looking to leave the country, I shouldn't say it that way. If you consider leaving the country for work, there is a unique job opportunity. You've heard of Loch Ness and the great Loch Ness monster, named Nessie.
Yeah.
Loch Ness in Scotland has come up with a job. A full-time Nessie hunter is needed
Come
at the
on.
Loch Ness Center, a state-of-the-art visitor attraction and research center in Scotland. So they're hiring a skipper for a boat dedicated to the geological formation of Loch Ness and the mystery of the Loch Ness monster. So they want a passionate skipper who loves what they do and can make the tours memorable and a great experience for all. So if you want to be a skipper searching constantly for Nessie, the Loch Ness monster, this might be for you.
Okay.
I do like the fact that it also says if you're just, you just want to work at the Loch Ness Center, but do not have the relevant boating qualifications, they're also looking for a guest services team member and cleaner roles.
All right.
So, you didn't seem too like, I'm not going to do that.
I'm
I'm
not
going to
doing
move to
that.
Scotland.
I'm not looking for some monsters.
Oh, I might move for monsters. I think I'm going to come fun.
All right. There was a poll that was done. I know that's a surprise. Another poll of Americans about bathrooms and their
Public bathrooms.
Public bathrooms, and they're feeling like they don't have enough privacy. And I wholeheartedly agree, because why are there the huge cracks in public bathrooms? You know what I'm saying? Like the space between the door and the next part of the panel, and you can see through.
It's not a huge, it's like a half an inch or something like that.
Okay, but you can see the whole person.
Listen, us dudes, we got to stand up elbow to elbow with other guys and have a small conversation. You don't have to do that.
All right. So half the people say they would eliminate the gaps in the bathroom stall doors.
Okay. That's a big deal then.
45% also prefer when the door goes all the way to the ground. I don't, because then I can't look under to see if it's full or not. I got to look for the feet.
Gotta look for the feet. A couple more things the survey asked. It turns out that 90% of people, 9 in 10 people, wish bathrooms in high traffic areas had a display outside that showed how many stalls were open.
I like that idea.
Some parking garages have something like that as well, showing you how many stalls are open. And about half of people would also add timers to the top of each stall so you can see how long someone's been in there.
Oh my God.
Call them out and shame them for it.
Brilliant.
Can you imagine coming out of a bathroom stall, somebody sitting there pointing their finger at you like, you?
10 minutes in the bathroom. That's a long meeting.
What the hell? All right. That's enough on that.
Right. The question of the day from yesterday that we asked is, what's the weirdest thing you collect? And you guys came up with some great answers. And I want to see some of these collections.
Corey said micro miniatures for her little mini garden. It's fun. I have spent way too much money doing that. Oh,
Yeah.
just, little characters to go in the garden
She
amongst
has
the
one. No,
plants.
she has one for. I don't know if you saw the picture. She has one for every month. Like she had a Valentine's Day one right now.
Oh, okay.
She has a. They're like little gnomes. They're super cute.
Marilyn said, I collect Beanie Babies. I inherited my mom's collection of everyone up until 2013.
That's a lot. That's a mega amount of Beanie
Beanies.
Babies.
That is a
Jenny
lot of
says she
them.
collects everything lips. Lisa collects Cookie Monsters, which I definitely want to see that collection.
Yeah.
And our friend Steven said from probably 1978 through the mid 90s, he had every single TV guide, but sadly they were thrown out.
And Anne agreed. Anne also said, Steve, I collected them as well, and they disappeared. I get, at the time, I suppose, we weren't nearly as connected as we are these days. So, I mean, having a TV guide with the articles and
It was all the
you know.
things.
All right. Sonia says, I collect dust. And Jimmy's like, hey, everybody has a couple hundred yo-yos, right?
Did you see Randy's? Did you see Randy's?
Randy put a list of movies that Jen Kincaid Pirac has never seen. What does that mean?
He's collecting a list of movies I've never seen because he listens to the podcast every day. And when we mention movies, I'm like, I've never seen the Star Wars movies. I've never seen any James Bond movies. I've never seen a Christmas vacation. No, a Christmas story all the way through. He's
then
like,
good for Randy.
Yeah,
That's
he's
a
like,
good collection.
I can't even believe it.
James says he collects cat hair. It's always on me and always with me. And Jennifer says I collect playing cards. And also she collects dust, just like Sonia.
Carrie says she collects friends. I got some weird ones. Very funny, Carrie.
So we're just part of a collection. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Cheryl collects measuring spoons.
Yep. And we got to run through these because we're running out of time, Curt Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie collects cross stitch. I have enough to keep me busy for the next 15 to 20 years.
Oh, cross stitch kits. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There it is.
There
what
it
do you
is.
collect, Curt? What do you collect? I collect glassy babies. I love them so much.
I collect guitars. Probably.
Yeah, you
I
do.
think I told you
100%.
I was going to have that
guitars.
big collection of Converse Chucks, but that only got to be 7 before I got bored with that, and I was all done with my Converse. Yeah.
Someone said they collected memories, and I liked that one too.
Oh.
I know. I love it.
All right, here's a list of things Jen found. I didn't know a lot of these things.
I didn't either.
National Frozen Food Day. There are actually foods you should never, ever store in the freezer, and here are a few of them.
I'm going down the list. I'm going to quickly go down this list. Milk, cooked pasta because it gets gummy and mushy, which I didn't know. Raw potatoes. Cooked potatoes will freeze, but not raw ones. Eggs in the shell. Well, I mean, I think that one's kind of a duh, but.
Well, that has to do with expansion of the eggs as well. Some of the other things on the list of things I never put in the freezer, fried foods, which end up getting soggy and gross. We know that. Soft cheeses, things like cream cheese and ricotta separate just like milk. Don't put them in the freezer.
Same goes for yogurt. Pasta salads with mayonnaise, they separate. Fresh herbs because it'll wreck the flavor and texture. Cucumbers because they get mushy and slimy because they're mostly water. And here's the kicker. Coffee beans. Lots of people do it, but freezing your coffee messes with the flavor. It also absorbs the odors from other stuff in there. I did not know that. So that was a good one for me to learn.
Because I've stored coffee beans in the freezer before. I thought that was okay.
Yeah, well,
look at that. You learned something new today with Curt and Jen in the morning and throughout the day. How about our question of the day for tomorrow? Since you did so great on the question of the day for today, we had asked something not too long ago about things that you said that made you, or I'm sorry, things people did that make you feel old, like they, or whatever, right?
Things you did, or yeah. Things, yeah.
But now, in that same vein, we've got what's in a quote old person habit you've adopted because it's actually a really good idea.
There is a list that someone put together of things that people do that old people do that are a good idea. We want to hear yours, but here's a couple, and one of them, Curt. I think you know this about me. Kleenex boxes in almost every room.
That's true. And they have to be the Kleenex with the
lotion.
With the lotion, or else. I actually put the closed captioning on a lot of times because I will just keep the TV very quiet in the background.
Oh, I do that too. And plus, sometimes I can't hear it very well. So I'm like, what are they saying?
Yeah. So we're looking for you. One more. This is funny because we all do this. Lowering the volume on the radio when you're parallel parking.
Amen. I drive better when I do that.
Right. Or when you're really focused on driving, you like turn the radio down. I'm like, what difference does it make? But it does. So there's that we're looking for again. Old person, quote unquote, old person habits, which by the way, since we do so many of these, I guess that makes us old people, Jen.
I just bought Pat a pill organizer like a pill organizer box on Amazon, and he uses it.
Yep. Because you know why? It's a good idea, even if it's a quote
idea.
unquote old person thing. Let us know what you think. We'll be talking about them tomorrow. So they're your old person ideas that are actually good ideas.
That's right. I can't wait to hear your answers. All right. Thank you for joining us today on this Thursday, Friday Eve. Have a great day. Make good choices. Find joy. Spread kindness and
laugh.